Hello and welcome to the July edition of Shropshire Business Live TV. This month we're at Newport Show.
We've gone casual this month, Chris, haven't we? You're
branded up.
One of Shropshire's biggest and most historic agricultural shows, of course, and we thought what better place to bring our fourth season, can you believe, to an end. Lots going on, as you can probably hear. It's a busy old show,
it's a great show. We've just had a wander around. I mean, so much to see, to do, from food to farming. It's a brilliant day out.
We've got a great show for you today. We're going to be taking a look back at the series so far with some of our favourite highlights coming up later on. We've also got all the regulars, some more Ask the Expert tips from Nick Jones, who's going to be answering some more questions from viewers, which is great. You've been out and about to ACO.
I've been going to ACO, been out and about. We're going to be speaking to Shropshire Council, finding out more about what they've got going on. So lots on the show.
First, though, of course, we've got our Apprenticeship Awards that we've talked about before on October the 3rd. At Telford's Mercure Centre Hotel, and one of the sponsors is SJ Roberts, the construction company, and I caught up with Mike Sambrook, their managing director at the Allscott Meads development near Telford, to find out why he was so keen to get involved and why he supports apprenticeships. Well, Mike, great to see you at Allscott Meads, which is growing, well, by the day, it seems to me here. It's huge now, isn't it, this place?
It is. I've been away for a couple of weeks and I've come back and even I'm amazed. I drive along the front on the B4394 there and scaffolds are down. There's more houses going up. And I come here often, but I'm still surprised and delighted by the progress the guys are making on site. It's a fantastic team effort.
I struggle now to get my bearings because I obviously remember this when it was the sugar beet factory. Yeah. Is this where we are sitting now in your sales office? Pretty much exactly where the factory was, isn't it?
Correct, it is. It is. We're not far from where the big silos are, the big circular silos, and we've got some features that mimic that on site in the play areas, the circular play areas on there. So yeah, we're pretty much on the authentic brownfield site part of the old sugar beet factory. Yeah.
Amazing. So for people that are not too familiar with this particular site, there's a school that you've built, there's a sports facility that's now up and running and doing really well. And how many homes?
470 homes, of which we've got 47 affordable homes that we're in partnership with Wrekin Housing on those, delivering those, and the remainder are for open market sale, 1 bed, 2 bed, 3 bed, 4 bed, 5 bed, so everything that anybody would want really.
Is this fairly typical of the kind of development that SJ Roberts specialises in then? Or?
Size-wise, this is quite unique for us. You know, it's a big old development to take on, but we were brave enough to go for it. It's proved to be the right decision. But no, we'll do anything. We'll do a site with 5 houses on. We'll go up to 200. We're doing for some housing associations. This is the biggest one we do, and I think it's just proved that we can do it, and we're up to the job.
Because it's scaling up, isn't it, of what things you're already doing. But how much planning goes into actually setting things up before you actually put spades in the ground then for something like this?
That is the critical part of the job. You've got to be ready to go, and there is a lot of preparation beforehand. I was involved in this site 5 years before we started, going through negotiations, looking at the technical side of things, and then there was a large group of people involved, in-house and consultants, to get everything ready on site, or to get it ready to come on site. We had to remediate and put the site right from that point of view because of its previous brownfield use. So there was that to do, working with levels and drainage, working with the local authority and the planners. That was a huge part of it as well, in order to create what you can see today.
I imagine it's quite a satisfying job that you do because you're doing something where you can actually physically see the fruits of your labours, can't you? You can see the bricks literally coming up out the ground.
Absolutely. It's a huge part of it. Probably on this site that sort of the most sort of pinch myself moment was when the school opened. That was always a vision that we'd like to build the school, which we did in the end. We worked with Telford and Wrekin to deliver that, and with the Learning Community Trust, who were great. Both of those partners were fantastic with us. And to see that ribbon cutting and see the children in the uniform and think we've actually created this facility on site for the children and leave the legacy going forward, that was probably one of the major highlights. But all the time when I see young families moving in and people coming in downsizing and moving on, and we get the feedback of what a fantastic place it is to live, it's all just worth all the effort that goes into it.
And the school, of course, nearly a year old now, isn't it, to be honest? I don't know where time's going. Obviously, you can't produce something like this without having a large, experienced and adaptable team behind you. And we're talking, of course, about apprenticeships here today because of your support of the Shropshire, Telford and Wrekin Apprenticeship Awards. How important are apprentices to your business?
Oh, they're a huge part of the business. They come in, we can give them our knowledge. We've got a huge amount of knowledge in the business, but we also want to protect the future of the building industry. That is there is a skills gap. And at the moment, we've got 36 apprentices. We're looking to take on another intake in September across all the different trades. Some may disappear. It's the natural progression. Some apprentices get their qualification, they'll stay with us for a while. I just want them to stay in the industry. And also, if they can stay, we are a local company. We work Shropshire and Mid Wales predominantly, and I just want people to stay in that area and stay. I bump into apprentices now who we dealt with 10 years ago, but they're still doing what we trained them to do, what they learned to do, and it's great to see that. And they're a credit to us. We talk to the colleges. They're a really good bunch of people we bring through, and they bring a lot to the business, and they add value to the business. It's not just about us ticking that apprentice box. They add value, and they add value to the industry.
What kind of jobs have you got them doing right now at the moment then? What sort of areas of the business are they working in?
Oh gosh, they're across all of our sites, on the residential side, on the commercial side of the business, but they do everything from, I've got architectural technicians, quantity surveyors, bricklayers, carpenters, plumbers, electricians, engineers. So they cover every aspect of the business we do, really. So and they're coming through, and a lot of those now are pretty self-sufficient, looking after their own projects, being able to work under their own under their own steam, and that's great to see.
I imagine it's one of these industries where you actually think, oh well, if you come to work for a construction company, you're just looking for bricklaying apprentices. It's a bit like the NHS, isn't it? You don't realise how many different kinds of jobs within the industry there actually are. So is there a chance for people to come on board with you, see which aspect of the business they actually like, and then sort of you can point them in that direction a bit more?
Yeah, absolutely. We work in close partnership, along with other education providers. We work in close partnership with Shrewsbury colleges, and at the moment we are working with their T-level BTEC students. We take them on, they do a week's work experience with us, or a day a week to achieve their hours, and they'll try. We've had one, they've tried site management, weren't sure about site management, so they might be trying an architectural technician. And we also have bricklayers and plumbers, and they'll come and have a try and see what they're like. We have a bit of a try before you buy, but they also come in and see, is it for them? Do they want to do that? So we've got that option as well, and we do that because we want to encourage these people. We don't look anything for it. We just want to be able to give them the knowledge that our guys have got.
Anything I always think that just gives people an opportunity to try a career that they think they might want to do, to see whether it's actually what they think it's going to be, is great. Interesting, you mentioned T-levels there. You're a big supporter of that then, aren't you? Which is relatively new, isn't it, T-levels?
It is relatively new. I'm still learning about it, but I had a good sit down with the guys, Chris Hesketh, Stuart Rain from Shrewsbury Colleges, who've been great with us, and they've talked all about the T-level students. And the hours they've got to get in outside of the education part of it to achieve the hours to have a look at what they want to do, and we've been more than happy to help with that. And I think that's a great way to introduce these guys and girls into the industry, to see what it's about on the ground as well, in the classroom. And the great stuff that Shrewsbury Colleges do is fine, but to get them out there and have a look at it, to visit the sites, we've got sites just down the road from the college, they're all easily accessible, and to be able to get them on site to see what they want to do, and it might be something they hadn't even thought of, And as you touched on, Hull, you talk about site management, engineering, architecture, quantity surveying. They might think, I don't know if I want to really do the bricklaying. I've seen that side of it. I think I might give that a go. And if it opens up for one person to do that, that's great.
I mean, for all the classroom work or virtual or augmented reality at a college site, there's no substitute for actually picking things up, feeding things and seeing it for yourself, is there? No, but how did you get into the industry then? What was your route?
Well, a bit like I've just explained, I sort of fell into it. I came out of school, I finished school in 19 something, and I thought, what am I going to do now? And I don't know, I visited the local builders down the road from me, only about a 10-minute walk. I went in to see the chap there, and I was introduced to him as a chief quantity surveyor, and I thought, well, I'm not bad. I can add up, I can do a bit of maths. I quite like that. And so I sort of fell into quantity surveying. So at 16, in the builder's office, I was doing my YTS, the old YTS. And so I started there as a trainee quantity surveyor and worked my way through there. And I've always worked, since 1985, I've always worked for local family-run businesses. So I worked, Boswell's, Frank Gallier's, now to SJ Roberts, where I've been for nearly 20 years now. And so that's how I've worked my way up through being a quantity surveyor, commercial manager, and now obviously the managing director of SJ Roberts. And I still love every day I come into work. I still love getting involved in the quantity surveying, trying to pass my knowledge on to our quantity surveyors, about how I came through. And I still love the industry.
So also what's great for your current apprentices and other vocational students is you can prove that you've seen there's a progression route. You start at one level, work your way through, and for apprentices here they can see that there's potential for that to happen to them as well then.
Oh, absolutely. And we've got a huge amount of examples now of guys. I've got a site manager on the site we're sitting on now, Allscott Meads, Ed. He came to me 5, 6, 7 years ago. He was a trainee site manager. He's now basically running this site with just a project manager above him who helps him out, but he's looking after 80 to 100 guys. It's a multi-million-pound project. I've got an engineer did the same. He's now head of engineering with us, goes all over all of our different projects, and he heads up a team of engineers. I've got a quantity surveyor who's left us now to go on to pastures new, as I said, but he's doing really well for himself. He came as an apprentice. He didn't know if he wanted to be a site manager or a quantity surveyor. He took down quantity surveying. He ended up looking after this project. So he's got a 50-60 million pound project on his books, and he's flying. So I mean, the people that we've got, we can show testament that we do promote from within, and we look to try and nurture our talent is there to be seen. It's tangible.
Fabulous stuff. So tell us a bit more about what's coming in the future at the moment. What's the industry like that you're in at the moment? Have you got any other projects on the cards that we're going to be hearing about soon?
We have got a few. We're still looking for a few bits of land for our homes division to go forward. So that's going on. We're busy enough here for a couple of years yet. I mean, the level of inquiries that are coming in are still fantastic. Especially the last few weeks. I've come back to a huge amount of inquiries in the housing sector and in the industrial commercial sector. We've got sites starting for various housing associations coming up in the summer, and probably looking at our order book now, we're not bad through to sort of the end of next year, which looking ahead at the moment is pretty good. And there's some exciting stuff ahead, and hopefully we'll be able to reveal more as time goes on.
Well, being able to plan through to the end of next year is pretty good. I know there's a lot of businesses I'm talking to at the moment, particularly over the last few months, have felt that the one thing they can't do is plan for the future with any great certainty at the moment. By the time this is broadcast, the result of the election will be out. People will know what they're facing from a government point of view for the next 4 or 5 years. Does that help? Is stability good for your industry as well?
Oh, hugely. Stability is uncertainty. Usually it's the construction industry first. People will think, I tell you what, I'll just hold off on buying that house. I'll hold off on investing in that new shop unit I was going to build, or any sector, and they just think, let's just hold back. And usually it's the construction industry, I think, is the sort of barometer for seeing where things are going to a certain extent. Not wholly, but it does have a big factor in it. But I think going forward now, but I mean here, for instance, the sales here and pushing forward, I mean, we've not really seen any let up. We thought the election might hold things back. What's going to happen for the first time buyers? Should we hold back? But they seem still to be flying out the door. So I can't complain on that front. But yeah, from what you said, stability will help hugely, I think. Hopefully going forward now, we'll see what happens come election night and the following day, and then we'll take it from there. But I'm pretty confident we can carry on going from strength to strength.
As long as everybody makes good on their promises they've been making for the last few months, we'll be all right, won't we?
Of course, why wouldn't they?
I'll leave that debate for another day, Mike. I think great to see you. Thank you so much as well for supporting the Shropshire, Telford and Wrekin Apprenticeship Awards. We look forward to having a good night on October the 3rd.
Yeah, and again, great idea, Carl. As you said, the first one of its kind in Shropshire. There's many others throughout the country, and I think it's a fantastic award ceremony to bring forward, and I'm looking forward to being involved in it, as are SJ Roberts Construction.
Let's hope it's a regular on the calendar going forward then. Thanks, Mike. Great to see you.
No worries. I'm sure it will be. Thank you, Carl.
3 individual sensors: optical, heat, and carbon monoxide, combined in one alarm for the ultimate fire and CO response. Introducing the EI3030, the next evolution in home life safety. Maximising coverage, whilst making installation simpler, easier and future-proof with the Easy Fit base. The EI3030 multi-sensor fire and carbon monoxide alarm is available to order now. Safety first. Eco first.
Welcome back to Shropshire Business Live TV. This month, Carl and I are at Newport Show. And we're looking back as well at Series 4 of Shropshire Business Live TV. It's been a great series. Let's take a look at some highlights. Welcome to Series 4 of Shropshire Business Live TV. We're back. Welcome to the October edition.
Hello and welcome to the November edition.
Hello and welcome to our Christmas edition.
Well, hello and welcome to the January edition of Shropshire Business Live TV. Well, hello and welcome to Shropshire Business Live TV.
Hello and welcome to the March edition of Shropshire Business Live TV. Hello and welcome to April's edition of Shropshire Business Live TV. Hello and welcome to May's edition of Shropshire Business Live TV.
Hello and welcome to the June edition of Shropshire Business Live TV.
Hello and welcome to the July edition of Shropshire Business Live TV.
Well, the first topic that I want to look at tonight is the one that was by far and away the most popular in all of the different sources we've used tonight, and that's around skills.
We've got such a dedicated team, and so to walk away with something like this, you really feel like, it's something we can share together and everyone's really proud of, so it's amazing.
Well, it's time now for our Ask the Expert slot, an opportunity to talk wealth management with Nick Jones from Throgmorton Associates.
It's all about balance, and when we were meeting during the pandemic, sometimes online, some of those shows, but it was about, okay, this is the rainy day, this is what everyone's been saving for, get on and do things, but actually don't spend all your savings, because you may well be, for my age, you may be one of the 5% that lives till 100.
But I guess I've come from this world of small business and supporting them for such a long time. And I've learned quite a lot of lessons along the way in terms of how businesses can use innovation and utilize innovation.
Well, I'm just taking a little bit of a break, like we've just have. I'm here on our Shropshire Live stand at the Newport Show, which is where Carl and I are today with the Shropshire Business Live TV final episode of Series 4. Can you believe it's Series 4? Now, Carl has been over to see Nick Jones of Throgmorton Wealth Management in Shrewsbury, our Ask the Expert. We've had the elections. What are your questions? I know we've had a few questions in from some of you, so let's ask them and see what Nick says and gives us an answer.
Well, for one final time, this series we're with Nick Jones of Throgmorton Associates for our Ask the Expert slot. And Nick, since we got together last time, we've got a new government, we've had a general election, about 140 odd bills in the King's speech. It went on forever, didn't it?
Yes.
I guess the pensions bill is the most important thing from your point of view, isn't it? Is there anything we need to know or do about that at the moment?
Yeah, it was. Well, you're right. It was an opportunity for the new administration to share their thoughts, their guidance on what's going to be coming through, what's important to them. and then what's going to be important to us going forward. The pension bill itself wasn't necessarily expected to be included, but there's a lot more in there than we actually anticipated, which is great. Not too many new things, to be fair. A lot of the things that had been mooted before have been carried through, like making it easier to find previous pensions, making it easier to transfer around smaller pots, encouraging people to save more, which has got to be a good thing. Looking at making sure that there's a measure on the costs that people pay for their pension planning, which is absolutely ideal, because the less you pay, the more will be in the pot, depending on performance, obviously. And there's always going to be a need for advice. So it's an interesting one, but no massive changes. But there will be future reviews as well going on, things like the auto-enrolment systems and how that all works, who can be a member. At the moment, you're not until 22. It might be that they bring that forward to 18. It might be that they get rid of the lower earnings level limit, like a band that you don't pay on the first so much money. So all of that will encourage people to pay more and save for longer, so they'll have a bigger pot at the end.
Is the general policy for all of this is to try and make it more flexible and give you back as a person more choice, presumably, as to what you actually do with your funds, and you've got more. Some of that had already happened, hadn't it? But is this taking it further? Yeah.
So Pensions Freedoms 2014-15, believe it or not, so 10 years ago now, was all about allowing people more choice to certain types of benefits at the end when they come to taking down their benefits from their previous pension planning that they put in place. The situation we have is that if you're in a gold standard pension pot, if you like, the defined contribution is where you're paying a certain amount in and you get a value at the end. Defined benefit is it's all about the number of years that you worked and your salaries, and it was linked to that. So there was less there's no investment risk. It was more about, actually, I'm going to do this number of years. I've then got a guaranteed amount of income at the end, and that's fantastic. But the options on accessing those were quite limited, and they're still quite limited.
So they're the ones that people call final salary pensions.
Yeah, final salary, absolutely right. That's it. Yeah. Lots of different technology. The industry is awash with jargon, and googling stuff sometimes just takes you down a rabbit hole somewhere else. So yeah, it's difficult. And again, that's where humans come in. But the freedoms on the sort of money purchase side, which is the ones where you build up a value and it goes up and down every year depending on the investment performance, your contributions, etc. The options at the end of that are now much more flexible for the last 10 years. And they're talking about now, as part of this pensions bill, making those sort of options available to the final salary clients as well. Also, so it's going to be interesting. And it's talking about the employer having to offer advice to the employees as to which is their best path. That's going to be tricky.
There's a big emphasis on employers having to learn a lot more about the pensions world. On the back of this, it occurred to me, and of course, if you're a big company and you've got a department that does all this, it's easy. But a lot of SMEs that we've got here in Shropshire, that's time-consuming and tricky, isn't it?
Yeah, even if you're a big firm, to have the resource and to have people who are going to have to be qualified in these things, you're going to have to be a specialist, because if someone makes the wrong decision, they're going to come back at you. So you need to be qualified and authorised and regulated and have some PI insurance. So that rules out a lot of firms doing it in-house. It does mean there's going to be a need for good advice. And I can see us working with a lot more firms going forward, because it'll be the default to have advice. And there's things like the on the pensions wise online and things where you can go on, you can put your details in, you can actually arrange a chat, a one-to-one, and they can give you guidance, but they can't necessarily give you advice as to what's best in your circumstances. And because there are so many options for a lot of people, you've still got a long list of options after a call, but you know a little bit more about what you might or might not do.
So is that potentially then going to change the kind of work that people, companies like yours do, the kind of clients that you would typically work with then?
I don't think it will. What's already happening in the industry is that there's a focus on delivering value. There's a focus on making sure you're having a positive outcome to clients and you're helping them to achieve their goals, which is absolutely fantastic. And we've been trying to do that forever, but now it's become a thing that's expected, which is brilliant. A lot of firms are struggling to get up to speed with doing that and delivering it and being able to demonstrate it. That's the difficult part sometimes. If you've helped someone to have a plan, see it through over the last 15, 20 years, and now they're living the retirement or semi-retirement that you've talked about for all that time, and they're going on the holidays and they're helping the grandchildren on the housing ladder and doing all these things, they think you're fantastic and you've got a really close relationship. You're like one of the family. You go to weddings and sadly funerals and things. But actually, it's quite hard to document that. It's quite hard to think. But that's why we get out of bed, but for most of us. And it may be that there's a specific branch of advice that goes down the pensions route that works specifically with employers. to talk about educating the workforce. That might be a thing, but who knows? It was only announced the other day, and the industry is still going to really come to terms with what that means to people who are going to need advice.
You've got a lot of bedtime reading to do, basically, haven't you?
Always.
There's all these, you must look at it and think all these bills coming in, and oh no, more changes and more things to get my head around.
It's just a constant. It's change, isn't it? And 20 odd years with St James's Place, 28 years as an advisor. That's the constant. If you couldn't handle the fact that things are going to change in the next 6 months, you have to do something else.
Yeah. Now, listen, you mentioned about how, a key role of yours is developing a personal relationship with people and becoming part of the family, which I guess is such a key part of what you do. Brings us nicely to one of the questions that we've had. And thank you to everybody who's issued questions for Nick over the course of the series. We've had some great ones. Ironically, now we've got some more coming in. Only got one episode left. Haven't got time to ask them all. But there's 2 here that I wanted to look at. This one, I think, from Chris Pendle in Ludlow is particularly relevant to what you're saying about building relationships. Because Chris says, will artificial intelligence soon have the ability to predict the best investments for me and my family and remove the need to speak to real people for advice? I know what your answer's going to be, but explain.
Well, it is a great question, Chris, and something that people, sometimes tongue-in-cheek, but sometimes people are asking us now. The ability to predict markets, you can look at probability. The information's already there, so you can actually do all that without needing a computer. You can probably research it on your desktop or on your phone, but actually, historical results will tell you that if you invest in certain things, the probability of having a positive outcome over certain time periods is 100%. If you're in equity portfolios, for example, over 20 years, it's something like 98% that you're going to be positive at the end of that 20 years. So that's kind of there. You don't need a computer to necessarily be guiding you with that. And where it's interesting, a lot of firms now are using AI in the back office stuff. So if systems and processes, and we talked about recording the impact that you make with clients, now being able to capture conversations and things and have a transcript of a Zoom call, for example. That's come through in the last few weeks, that we are authorised to do that sort of stuff now with client permission. So that helps us to keep the records up to date. Also, I think there was an announcement recently that St James's Place themselves are helping AI help with when people are ringing in and helping to detect if they may be vulnerable. So this is helping people to not necessarily be influenced unduly by somebody else who might be impacting on a call, or maybe encouraging them to make a withdrawal, or if they've gone through a bereavement, or they go through a divorce, or there's something seriously going on. It's helping the human who's taking the call to actually ask a few more questions or go down a different route. So, it's using AI in a positive way.
So it's more about using AI to free people like yourselves up, experts, to spend more time doing what they are qualified to do and where they can add the value and
with clients.
And because if I'm your client, one of the most important things I guess you've got to do is gauge, what's my attitude to risk, how am I feeling, I walk into a meeting, have something happened, you've got to read body language, you've got to read everything.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, and you do a lot of it over the years, and you almost forget that you're doing it. And we've got some of the developing advisors that come through the academy, and they're fantastic, but they don't necessarily naturally do a lot of that stuff. They have to think about it, whereas a lot of us older guys, guys and girls in the industry, we just do it sort of naturally, and that empathy that you build and the rapport and the things you don't have to think about. I don't think we will ever be replaced by a computer system. So, for example, I've been referred to a lady, it's a mother-in-law of an existing client. The client's a lovely guy, we've known him for a long time. Sadly, his father-in-law was really poorly when he first reached out to me. He's now passed away last week, actually. Next week, I'm going to see his mother-in-law. It's going to be a tough meeting. It's going to be quite emotional, I imagine. His wife and her sister are going to be there as well, so it's family support for the mum. And it's to help her wade through whatever else they've got policy-wise, pensions, there's going to be investments and stuff, and it's just an oversight, or how would you deal with this, or do I need to encash that, or what?
Or what's this? Even it's as basic as that, isn't it?
And I don't know, because I haven't met the lady yet, but possibly, like in a lot of couples, one of the couple is responsible for doing the day-to-day stuff, the financial stuff. The other just lets them get on with it and has very little interest. And just, are we okay? Yeah, everything's okay, great. And they just kind of move on. So we're very much we take pride in the fact that we can help to comfort people at a bad time, provide some clarity, and it's that that's really where we can add some real value. But also, then you've got a friend for life. You're doing a great job. It makes you really referable. But you're doing it because you really enjoy doing it and you enjoy helping. Right. It's not, I've got no idea what they've got. I've got no idea if there could be any actual business in it for us. And I'm not going to because of that. I'm going because I want to help them have some clarity. and help them deal with whatever the administration process is going to be with all these different providers, because dealing with providers can be painful. And we quite often, we're writing out to providers if we're reviewing an existing policy, can it be upgraded or not? Is there something that you're going to lose by moving? So we ask all of those sort of questions, but the time it takes on the back and forward, and sometimes there's a 30 working day turnaround on replying to a question we've asked, and you think, blimey, you're trying to keep the client happy, but you're in between the administration over here, which is awful, and the client over here, who's potentially in this case grieving, and it's tricky. But a computer to do all that, well, I don't know.
Long may the need for the use of such interpersonal skills continue. That's what I say.
Thank you. Yeah. Well, on that point as well, the industry is massive already. There's a massive need for advice. Everything's changing, as we've mentioned. We have younger people joining the industry because we've got older people retiring every year. There are older people who've been doing it for a long time who are retiring. But for example, so Ethan, our eldest, graduated this week.
I saw the pictures. Yeah, absolutely. Looking very proud.
Yeah, he's done fantastic. Yeah, 2-1, Loughborough University. What's not to like? He's decided that he likes the idea of being a financial advisor. And I just certainly haven't talked him out of it. I'm not worried about computers replacing the role of an advisor. I know good quality advisors will be absolutely necessary to help clients going forward, because the more choice you have, the more advice you probably need, and the more help you need of what's right for me. So I'm encouraging people to get in the industry, and we work with the academy guys coming through to make sure that we've got a succession plan for our advisors as eventually they'll be leaving. We're talking about Throgmorton being a 100-year business. We don't want to get to the stage where we've got no advisors left. The last one's out. You've got only so many clients you can look after individually. Yes. So we've got that continual evolution of who's looking after who and making sure they're qualified and experienced enough to have the responsibility of taking care of people. So it's a great career, a great thing to be involved with, really.
My dad wanted me to follow in his footsteps and become an electrical engineer. I was having none of it.
Right.
None of it at all. We've got time for one more question. This is from Brian, who says, this goes back to the new government, really. He says, I heard Keir Starmer in an election interview, I think it was before the election actually, suggesting that the current 25% tax-free drawdown of pensions for people over 55 isn't going to be guaranteed long-term. He says, is there anything I should be doing about this, as I will be qualifying for this in about 2 years, and I'm keen to activate it?
Yeah, so with Brian, with Brian being 2 years away, he must be 53 now. He's the same age as me. 55 is currently the earliest you can access it. In 2028, it's going to be 57 as the earliest you can access it. So he might be a bit nearer the deadline than he thinks. But either way, if he's not old enough now, it's not a thing.
There's no suggestion it's going to disappear altogether, though, is there, at the moment?
Not at the moment, no. There's nothing concrete on any of it, really. The pensions bill gave an outline of the direction of travel. There was talk leading up to the election and in manifestos about reviewing pensions. The industry then thinks, crikey, what could that be? So at the extreme, it's massive changes. Like, well, at the moment, your whole pension pot, if it's still in a pension pot, is inheritance tax free. So you pass away, it passes to your next of kin with no taxation on that. What that does mean is that some clients, if they've got multiple assets, they're touching the pension last. So we've got lots of clients now who might be drawing down income, maybe from HISAs and unit trust portfolios, investment bonds maybe, or trusts, and they're actually not going to touch their pensions at all, because why would they touch that if it's outside the estate?
Taxman can't get their hands on it.
Yeah. So if that's a change, that's a big change that might come through. But it's a massive might, and it's the same with this, like with the tax-free cash, the 25%. It'd be a huge vote loser, because it would affect everybody with a pension pot, and potentially if the defined benefit side of things, if the final salary things are going to be following the same kind of logic, and the rules might get more aligned, it's going to affect everybody with a pension, and not just people with a money purchase one. So it's really hugely unpopular.
But if you're saying from 2028, the age to activate it might go up, that's no different to what the government's been doing with state pension. Anyway, is it?
Yeah. And that was already sorted out by the Tories a few years ago, and widely forecast, and it is set in stone. Whereas a lot of the things with the pensions bill, with all of the previous changes, some of them, like the removal of the lifetime allowance for the overall value you're allowed for your pension pot, that hasn't actually been enacted yet, because it happened so quickly. And one of these things, well, overnight, it's now not a thing. the policy makers have got to catch up and actually put that through the courts to make it happen.
It's like everybody can catch up with everything that's been going on for the last 12 months a bit.
It's going to take a while, isn't it?
It is. Nick, thank you so much for everything, not just today, everything you've done this series for us. What are you doing this summer? Climbing any mountains?
This summer, no mountains, but we're going to Canada, so Toronto, Niagara, back to Toronto, Montreal, Boston, Cape Cod, New York. Massive trip. Ethan graduated this year. Zane's just on his GCSEs. So big family.
Lots to celebrate.
Yeah, massive. Can't wait.
Maid in the Mist. Put your ponchos on to get the Maid in the Mist. That's good.
Absolutely. Yeah. We booked a jet bike. A jet boat in the rapids at Montreal. 2 of us are doing it. I'm one of them. I'm not going to tell you which of the other family members wouldn't out.
You are Shropshire's answer to Tom Cruise, aren't you? Anything like that, we'll just give it a go.
I think I'm a bit taller.
Yeah, I think you definitely are. Yeah, you are. That's why we have to do this sitting down, to be fair. Nick, have a great summer, and thanks so much for being part of our series.
Brilliant.
Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Well, I'm here with Sally Weston now, the show manager, the most in-demand person on the showground. I'm interested to know, on a day like this, do you feel like all the work's been done and you celebrate, or can you not relax until the last person's off the showground tonight?
Well, a bit of both, actually. So it is all going very, very smoothly, but I won't completely relax until I'm in the car going home. So, yeah.
So many people have been talking about the weather today and looking up at the skies. And that's one of the big pressures of doing a one-day event like this, isn't it?
It is indeed. Us British are very much dictated by the weather, unfortunately, and I'm the same. But everybody's turned out for us, so it's going really, really well.
What are the big jobs for you to do on a day like this, when the show day is actually up and running then?
Well, I'm always connected to the radio, so it's always answering any calls that come in on the radio and dealing with any problems, electricity going off, bins full, toilets blocked, that sort of thing, really. Bit boring. But yeah, at the moment it's all running smoothly.
But you're the person everybody makes a beeline for whenever anything's happened, aren't you? Great turnout from businesses. I mean, you must be pleased with the amount of support you've had from local business communities.
Absolutely fantastic. Actually, behind you there's the sponsors reception, and it's absolutely rammed, and we've had tremendous support from the local community and local businesses, which is fabulous. We couldn't do it without them, really.
I was just going to say, how important is that? I mean, is it quite literally a case of without them the show doesn't happen?
Absolutely. Massive income source for us, and really important.
And how far have you drawn people from for the show today? How far do people come?
We tend to do about a 10-mile radius around Newport, so we've crossed to Shrewsbury, other side of Stafford, north of Market Drayton, Shifnal. It's a big Wolverhampton even actually as well, so it's great to see everybody supporting us.
Is there a lot of pressure to do the things that people know and love and expect from a show like this at the same time as trying to freshen it up a bit as well?
Yeah, we like to keep the traditional element to it, but always to have new and different entertainment as well, and that is a challenge, but on the whole I think we try and get a good balance, and we get lots of feedback from the general public and our committee. We're a 40-strong committee, and they all have a view and have a say, and it all comes out in the end, and we hopefully have got a fantastic programme for everybody and all ages as well.
Which is important, isn't it? And what happens then tomorrow? Do you literally start planning for next year straight away?
Not tomorrow. I'll watch the football tomorrow, and then maybe Monday we'll start doing a bit.
You've earned a day off, definitely. Great to see you. Thanks a lot.
Thank you.
So Candice, welcome to Newport Show. Did you ever imagine when you entered the Bake Off that you'd end up doing things like this?
No, certainly not. I mean, the first time I did the Newport Show was 2017, so it was not long after. So to be back 7 years later is really nice. It's been a lot of hard work and lots of different bits and pieces, but it's always nice to come back to the ones that I kind of did at the beginning.
Tell us a little bit about what your life's been like in the 7 years in between, then what you've been up to.
I mean, it's been a bit of a whirlwind. It seems a long time ago, but it's also fairly still feels fairly new. I own a pub now, the Green Man Eversholt, with my brother. I've written 2 books. I've written for newspapers and for magazines. Lots of charity work for Copperfield, for Alzheimer's Research UK, for Dogs on the Streets. I've been on TV shows, I've cooked on live television, I've met amazing people, I've made big old cakes, small cakes, and still doing amazing demonstrations on stage, which I actually really enjoy and I love.
When do you get time to sleep?
I don't often sleep. No, I think I must be a vampire or something.
Which bits do you like best? Is it possible to say, of all the different elements of the job then?
I think being like different, I think meeting people probably, and doing these bits and pieces, but also learning. For me, I love learning. I love going to different places and learning about new food, about new events, about new people. And if I'm taking on a challenge, I'll try and prepare by going and doing a bit of work experience and spending time in a different kitchen or spending time learning a new cuisine. So being able to learn so much of what I love is really special.
Great to see you. Thanks ever so much.
Thank you so much.
I enjoy working at Telford College. It's a pleasure to work here. You walk in and the environment is just vibrant. Surrounding staff in the other departments are so warm and welcoming and friendly, and it just makes it a really lovely place to come and work.
I find that Telford College is really supportive in everything that you choose to do. The career progression that we've got within the college is incredible. So since I've been here, I've achieved quite a lot in such a short amount of time.
So what I love most about working for Telford College is the people that I work with, the friendships that I've made, and the diversity of students that I get to teach.
Facilities are great. It's like a university campus really. We've got great classrooms, great boards. We are always trying to use technology in new ways.
Facilities that I particularly enjoy using is the gym. Certainly one of the things that we try and promote to allow students then to feel free to access those facilities as well.
Little things like the cash point, the car park, the Starbucks on site, and all these things make it a little bit easier for a busy working mum.
I mean, accessing the college is really easy, so it's right off the M54, junction 6. Motorways are always clear. Also great train networks, bus networks.
To have that amazing Ofsted grade makes us all feel like we are that big family that have worked so tirelessly over the last few years to get to the point that we're at. That makes me feel extremely proud to work here at Telford College.
My journey, especially over the course of the last 10 years, when I started here, I never would have seen myself where I am. There's lots of opportunities for progression here as well. So it doesn't matter where you start, there's a career opportunity here for everybody.
I feel like I've been on a journey here, and I feel like every year it changes for the better. I've been to other colleges, I've studied at other colleges. I always find that if you are at a college in a town, you've not got as many facilities that we have here, as much space as what we've got here. Locationally, the college is fantastic.
We've got a lot of vocational staff who specialise in particular vocational areas. So we look for opportunities for staff who are in vocational areas to get back into their vocational specialisms, get back out into industry.
Before coming to Telford College, I had no teaching qualifications whatsoever, but they have given me the opportunity to do my teaching qualifications and also teach alongside it. I'm still now at the college doing teaching. I have my own building company, so I'll continue to prosper in that as well.
Becoming a teacher here at Telford College was such a fantastic opportunity for myself. Having come from a background of working within mental health services, when the position became available to go on and teach, knowing that Telford College were prepared to put me through my teaching qualifications was fantastic.
Welcome back to Shropshire Business Live TV, coming to you from Newport Show. Well, it's time now for our final visit of the series to the team at ACO in Oswestry. The community team, always busy at this time of the year, and Chris dropped in to find out what they've got themselves involved in this time.
Well, I've come to ACO where I'm joined by Laura, Community Liaison, Ryan, Sustainability Lead. We're just going to have a bit of a chat now because you've got so much going on. And we're into the summer holidays now when this show goes out. But just tell me about what's been happening recently, because you've had some young ones coming in, haven't you, for their graduation ceremony?
Yes, so I will start talking about in general. So we had plenty of primary and secondary schools last couple of months. We were very busy. They came over for educational visits, and we wrapped it up on Monday with the tiniest people we ever had, 4-year-olds from local nursery. They had a very important graduation ceremony, so they can go off to, big student life. So that was very nice.
It's a great experience for them, isn't it?
Definitely, they felt very special when they stand on the stage. They could see that, and everyone was clapping, so that was very nice to see.
So what are some of the things you've been doing with the youngsters over the last few months?
So as I mentioned, we do educational visits for primary schools, so Key Stage 2, Key Stage 3 as well, secondary schools. There's lots of different workshops, hands-on challenges, which is very, I would say, important for the education, because we saw there is a gap, and this is kind of help them to see how it is within an employer.
And Ryan, you've got other stuff going on over the summer holidays with youngsters, haven't you?
Yes, we have indeed. So we're actually launching our SYA Summer Club again in this summer holidays, basically for Year 6 leavers, I believe it is, Laura.
Yes,
so again, we launched that last year, second time around this year. Hopefully be bigger and better than ever, really, with some fun activities for them all to get stuck into.
Yeah, that's it.
I came here, I think it was last year or earlier this year, and you had
February.
one of the clubs on. Was it February?
Yes.
And it was just great because they were having such a great time.
So yeah, we had the first one in summer last year. Then we thought, let's do it at some half term. So we had another one, second one in February, which was as well really good fun. And we thought, why not again at the summertime? So we launched it for Year 6 leavers to give them like nice, smooth transformation and have a little bit of fun before they start secondary school.
And it's a great thing to be doing over the summer holidays, isn't it?
Yes, and I think it will give break the parents as well when they need to go to work. You know how it is when you.
It's not easy juggling children in summer holidays, is it?
That's it. Yeah.
It really is.
So they will have fun. Parents will have a little bit of free time. They can breathe.
Yeah, absolutely. And one of the other things you've got going on at the moment is work experience, because you invite lots of students in. Do they have to apply for work experience with yourselves?
So yes, schools. I think they will launch it to students, the work experience. Give them the list of employers. So we had since. January really this year we had about 35.
Is it 35?
35 kids, I think this is the most we ever had, and it's going till end of August because some students couldn't get place anywhere throughout the school, so they are very happy to come over here throughout the Christmas.
Summer
holidays.
Do you know what? It feels like Christmas at the moment. I was in a shop the other day and they'd got Christmas cards in it. So you know what? I know we're in July, and the other day I was at a pantomime launch. So there you go. So we can be into Christmas. So Ryan, what are they going to experience then when they come to ACO?
It's a massive different amount of things, basically. When they first apply for work experience, they can choose on the website any of the departments they want to go into. So we normally say 3 of them. They can do 2 days in 2 of them and 1 day in another. But I mean, they're more than welcome to go around the entire business and see exactly what everybody does. You know, I don't think we kind of set it up as something completely different. They will see exactly what we do on a day-to-day basis, and it just gives them a great experience of all the different aspects. You know, there can be some students come in and look at the operations team, and it's so kind of high energy and they absolutely love doing that side of things. Other students come in, see the IT department, see the finance, which is a little bit more kind of behind a desk, but that's what gives them their energy. So it's really important that they see those side of things. It'll help them to make that decision in the future then of what they actually want to do.
Because it's not easy, is it? You know, when we were at school, trying to decide maybe what you wanted to do in the future, and work experience is a great opportunity.
That's it. So mostly they do decide what departments they want to work at based on their GCSEs or A-levels, whatever they're going to do exam from. We had a business students who wanted to do marketing, internal sales, and finance, so something to boost their ego or whatever for the exams to see how it is actually. And some, like Ryan mentioned, is just they want to see, you know, any opportunities, how it looks like here, what's the departments. Operation is the most famous one, isn't it? The most popular.
Yeah, definitely, people enjoy it down there. Yeah.
Brilliant. Well, I know we're going to speak to two students, so let's have a little chat with them. It's Dylan and Kyle, isn't it?
Dylan and Kyle, yes.
Let's take a look. So Laura, we're here with some young people who are doing work experience here at ACO. We've got Dylan and Kyle. Guys, you go to the same school, don't you?
We do, yeah.
So what school do you go to?
We go to Ysgol Llanfachlin.
So I'm letting you say that because I've got no idea.
I can't pronounce it either.
But how are you doing? Because you started on Monday. You're here for a week, is that right?
That's right, yeah.
Doing work experience. How's it been so far, Dylan? Are you enjoying yourself?
Yeah, it's been fun. I've been working in operations. That's quite fun. Doing picking and packing.
So you're seeing like really what's going on within ACO, and you're getting to experience what it'd be like if you were working here full time. Yeah. So were you a bit nervous when you arrived on Monday?
Yeah, I was, and then because Kyle's from the same school, it like helped a lot.
Yes.
So I knew I had someone here to talk to.
And the guys here, I bet, have been really good with you, haven't they?
Good.
And Carl, how's it going for you? So what departments have you been having to go at so far?
So far I've been working in the marketing and operation department. So in marketing I've been doing stuff that they do in the marketing department, and in operations I've been like seeing what they do. So they've been doing like wrapping the boxes and stuff up like that.
So Laura, this is a great chance for them to experience what it's like to work at ACO.
That's it. So when we have students around, anyone from Shropshire or even outside can apply if they're willing to travel. So if we have students around, they are welcome to choose from 3 different departments, any department at ACO, and then it's their choice, and they can experience it. Either they can come back to it last couple of days, because they're here for a whole week, or if they want to experience different departments other than the 3 they chose, they're welcome to as well.
So it's really good. So it's giving young people that opportunity to experience what it's like to work for such a great company, an award-winning company like ACO.
Yes, it's not about ACO, but it's just given an opportunity to see how it is in the workplace in general. But yeah, it's nice privilege that we can have the students over here, and so far we had very nice feedbacks, which is nice to see the students actually do enjoy it. Being here.
Absolutely. Like I said to you, Dylan, at first, it's quite daunting when you're coming in. You've got a big building in front of you, but as you say, it's been great so far, hasn't it?
It's
Can you recommend it then if anybody wants to come and try work experience here to
you
apply?
Should come to ACO because it's like good fun. And it's
Would you say the same, Kyle?
Oh yeah, 100%. Yeah, great place to work, great staff, everything, great environment to work in.
Brilliant. Listen, guys.
That's nice to hear.
We better let them get back, hadn't we? And go and carry on with the rest of your day. Thank you for chatting to us.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. So it's great, Ryan, to see young people enjoying themselves and learning about the workplace.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a completely different kind of experience than they would get in a school or somewhere else. To come in and see kind of a high quality workplace like we have here, great facilities and everything. It's important for them to be able to come and see what they could be a part of, even in Shropshire especially. It's great for them to get out and into the actual workplace.
Now tell me about Project SOS. I know that's launching a little later this summer.
Yes, so again, another kind of idea from last year actually came out from one of the colleagues here, was a Project SOS, very similar to DIY SOS, in that we'd send volunteers out for a week to a local cause, a worthy cause, to volunteer for 5 days straight and work on a finished project, basically. Look at how we can start a project and take it all the way through to kind of completion at the end. Was one of the things people really wanted to see from our volunteering programme. We go off a lot of places and we start projects and we do bits here and there, but we never quite get to do a big project that we all enjoy. So something that came out of that was, for local causes to get in touch, send us exactly what their project is, and we can send a force of volunteers over them over a week and really make a difference.
What did you do last summer, Laura? Who did you have?
So we did do...
Was it a local school, was it?
It was local school in Longdon Primary School, so we transferred the grounds because they don't have any caretaker really, so it was either the teachers or the students' parents literally, to looking after it. So we went there over 5 days, we completely transferred it, made huge difference to them. So now it's going to be easy for them to look after it.
And was it good, Ryan, for your local workforce as well here at ACO to get involved and go out into the community and do something?
Definitely. It's one of the major benefits of our CSR programme as a whole, in my opinion, is to get people out of the workplace and mingle in different teams and things like that. But not only that, we have people travel from Scotland, London, wherever it may be, to come and support these local projects as well, which is really good. Yeah, and to get them, as I say, to mix with the internal colleagues as well, it just builds that relationship between everybody. So not only are you getting out and making a difference in your community, but there's also a big benefit to us here as well.
So I know, Laura, this is launching later in the summer, August time, so you'll put out more information then?
We have a new project SOS going on, which will be launched in August, like you said, end of August. It will be open to everyone, organizations, charities, local schools, anyone who would feel the need help. And again, it will be over a week, probably September, October time, but keep eyes on our website. It's going to be launched end of August, and there will be all information on our website, how to sign up, how to make sure that you will get the place.
Absolutely, you get a chance of having you guys coming in and giving them a helping hand, which is much needed, isn't it?
Absolutely.
For some groups.
Yeah,
Brilliant.
most definitely.
Listen, guys, you've got so much going on here. I know it's just brilliant from what you do with local schools, with the local community. For you two to see what's going on, I'll start with you, Ryan. Is it kind of, it makes you feel good inside?
Absolutely, yeah, most definitely. I think it's one of the best parts about our job, I suppose, is finding these causes, these worthy causes that need help and they haven't got it so far, and to have the resource here that we've got with nearly 100 people in total, whether it be externally on the road or internal staff, to actually be able to kind of get colleagues out and engaged in their local community as well. It's really nice to see.
And same for you, Laura, I guess.
So I'm in this job every day, so it's kind of like my job as well to look for these opportunities. And I always say it's not just purely to get out. It is nice to get out as a colleague, to have something different and help out, but it's as well build the relationship with school, with charity, with organization, and to see that we're doing the difference and how it's helping other people as well, which is nice and rewarding to see.
Brilliant. Listen, well, we look forward to finding out more about Operation SOS and what you've got going on in the future. Thank you so much for taking the time out to have a chat today. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
As you can see, it's an absolutely beautiful place, Chetwynd Deer Park, which is the scene of Newport Show. Not open to the public that often, but spectacular it certainly is. We're going now from one stretch of beautiful water, though, to another, back to Shrewsbury, where Chris has been catching up with the team from Shropshire Council about a very exciting partnership connected to the River Severn. Let's take a look.
Well, I'm here in a sunny quarry park in Shrewsbury, just by the River Severn. I'm with Matt Smith from the Severn River Partnership. Matt, tell me a little bit about the partnership.
So the River Severn Partnership covers the catchment areas of the River Severn, the River Wye and the Warwickshire Avon, and that covers 8 ceremonial counties across the Midlands and Eastern Wales. And it's an organisation which includes a number of other organisations, and they're all working to the same goal, which is about the economic and environmental improvement of the River Severn catchment area. The partnership itself is managed by Shropshire County Council, but other partners include all of the other local authorities that are involved, Natural England, the Environment Agency, local wildlife trusts and partnerships, Severn Trent Water, and a whole host of water abstractors.
So tell me a little bit about the project you're working on.
So I run the Advanced Wireless Innovation Region, and it's a project which sits under the RSP, and it's funded by the Department for Science, Innovation and Technology. We're a well-funded project. We've got about £4 million worth of public funding that we can spend over the course of this year, because the programme actually ends in March 2025. The programme is all about encouraging adoption of wireless technologies, and in particular within 3 key sectors. So initially, obviously, because with the River Severn Partnership, the water sector, but also the agricultural sector and the public sector. Both the agricultural and public sector are huge in terms of employment across our geography.
So what type of projects are you working on then?
So we've got a range of projects that we're funding currently. And a number of those actually touch Shropshire in some way. We've got a smart abstraction project which is operating in the River Strine, which is just north of Telford, and that's aimed at understanding the water levels and the rainfall levels, and to try and get a better measure of when farmers can abstract water from that drainage system, and when to actually release it back into the system to make sure they can irrigate the land properly and to manage the flood position. We've also got a project which is looking at precision irrigation, so that's working with a horticultural commercial farm out in Shifnal. And that's really testing the water moisture levels to make sure that actually their crop is being irrigated effectively. And that's the hope is that will increase their yield by 10%, so it's quite economically advantageous for them to do that. Then we've got some rural projects, so we're funding 2 universities, Hartpury down in Gloucestershire but also Harper Adams, to install a range of new sensors and devices across their working farms to really understand the benefits of those technologies and to then relay those benefits to the local farming community. So there are a number of other projects that we're working up presently, and again that touch Shropshire in some way. We've got a water quality project which is looking at getting a better measure of the phosphate levels within the River Clun. We're also working on an ammonia emissions project which is specifically focused on the poultry sector in North Shropshire, and that's trying to get a better measure of the ammonia emissions but also how they can be managed better. And then we're also considering a virtual rain gauge project which will really increase the level of data we've got about rainfall within the low atmosphere.
So how long are these projects going from start to finish? So when you may be starting to look at this, and I know you said this is early days of the project, how long would the project from beginning to kind of end take?
So it's a unbelievably short programme, this is. So we're obviously invested in at the tail end of the previous government, and we've got really until next March to deliver a lot of this
It's
activity.
quite a short space of time.
Very short period of time. However, the impact and the benefits of what we're doing should actually be much more elongated than finishing in 2025. So a number of the projects will last 4 years, even though the investment has happened this year.
And technology is always moving forward, so this is cutting edge technology, I guess.
Yeah, some of it is. So obviously we're in an extremely rural area. So because we're about adoption, we're about showing people technology that they could readily take off the market and use themselves. It's a bit difficult for us to focus on the very cutting edge connectivity. So the likes of 5G and 6G, are going to be quite a long time away for most people to actually experience locally. So we're quite cognizant that we've got to operate on the connectivity that's available to most people. So a lot of the projects that we're delivering are using 4G, or they're using narrowband IoT or LoRaWAN, which are much more readily available forms of connectivity than the kind of, I guess, the funkier and sexier types of 5G and 6G that you see in the cities.
And is there any satellite technology being used here?
Yeah, so obviously Starlink is readily available, and we're using Starlink actually as a backhaul for a 5G mobile project, which is might be strange for some people, and that's making sure that we've actually got the connectivity to a local radio, which can then convert that into 5G and actually transmit that across a relatively small area, actually wherever you are in the RSP area.
So is that like making kind of a mini cell phone site type of thing?
Yeah, exactly that.
So if you're going into a location which is in the rural district and they've got no mobile phone signal, that then provides that to them?
Yes. And that's similar to a project that we've delivered here. So we're on the Quarry Park in Shrewsbury, and a project that Shropshire Council has been running with partners Tellet and Shrewsbury Town Council to deliver a very localised private 5G network. And that's almost at the point of operation. We can see some of the kit in a moment, and that will bring 5G connectivity to the quarry site for probably the next few years really, and the purpose of that is to offer very high speed and durable connectivity to the organisers of events, but also stall holders that obviously have to take card payments while people are on site.
I was going to say that because sometimes you come along to an event and the card machines, they just don't have a signal, do they, when they're using them connected to their mobile phones. And we've talked about being rural, but obviously we're in Shrewsbury Town Centre. You'd think there would be high speed data, but there isn't always that option, is there?
No, I mean part of the problem is ordinarily you've got pretty good 4G on an area like this, but of course when you put an event on, thousands and thousands of phones come onto the site and they all clamour for that same capability. So actually it kind of maxes out and then everyone has nothing, which is a bit of a frustration. So, but it does show that actually it's not just can I get a signal, it's can I get a signal as well as everybody else who's local to me.
So Matt, what opportunities are there for businesses to get involved in this project?
There's quite a number of ways people can get involved. There are a number of demonstration days that we'll be putting on across all of the projects that we're funding, so people can come along and see and experience what people are doing. We've also got a wireless innovation grant, so that's a small pot of funding available for businesses, specifically really in agriculture, water or the public sector or associated industries, and they can use that money up to £5,000 to invest in wireless technology in their own businesses. We've also started to undertake a coverage survey, so we'll be probably the first port of call for anybody to understand what level of mobile coverage there is within their geography. We'll be doing that over the course of this summer, so people can come onto our website and actually see exactly which networks have the best coverage in their area.
So Matt, we've talked about you installing the new 5G closed network here in Shrewsbury in the Quarry Park, but you've got other projects as well, haven't you?
Yes, obviously most of our work, because with the River Severn Partnership, covers rural geography, so as well as some of the projects that we're directly investing in, we're also undertaking a coverage study, wide-scale rural coverage study to understand mobile signal across Shropshire and the other counties that are involved. And we'll also be offering a loan scheme for antennae boosters to make sure that those that have got a relatively poor 4G signal can actually boost that and improve the connectivity they've got already on site.
So is this for business, or could this be for a local community maybe that's struggling with a signal?
It is primarily for business. However, if there are community organisations, village halls, things like that actually need some support, then we can intervene there as well.
Because there are still, a few not spots, aren't there, in the county? We're a big county, aren't we? You can't expect everybody to be covered, even whether it's 3G's being switched off at the moment, isn't it? And I know there's just 1 or 2 3G masts that are left in certain parts of the county where there's maybe no 4G or 5G. So this could help, I guess.
It could help. Yes, but this programme is not specifically about improving the cellular mobile coverage. To be honest, we wouldn't have enough money, and we certainly don't have enough time.
No, definitely not. But in terms of doing the survey, it helps, I guess, find those spots.
Certainly, it gives an independent indication of where those not spots are. And it allows organisations like the council to actually lobby on behalf of the community, the mobile network operators, to try and do something about it, although that's a much longer term.
There's no quick fix for things like that, is there, unfortunately, and this is down to a lot to the mobile phone networks as well.
It is, but what you'll find is in a lot of areas actually the signal might be weak, but it's weak on your phone. And it could be a case that you've got an old phone that needs upgrading. It could be that actually by putting in a local antenna booster, you can actually boost the signal available where you are. So actually there are ways to kind of fix it yourself, not all the time, but there are some opportunities to do that don't really depend on the MNO changing the mast sites or the direction of their radios.
So Matt, how can people find out more information about this project?
So first and foremost, follow us on LinkedIn. That's where you'll see the most up-to-date information. Also come along onto the website and get some information about the demonstration days for all of the different projects we're funding, and also find all the information about any funding programmes that people want to put a proposal in for.
So we'll put a QR code on our screen and people can snap that on their phones and come through to your website. And you say about the days that you're going to be hosting, is that for people to come on? Do they need to register in advance via the website?
Yeah, so there'll be a registration process for all of those events. They'll start really in September and go all the way through to March, and they'll be across the project. So some will be in Shropshire, some will be elsewhere across the RSP area. Again, if you follow us on LinkedIn, you'll hear firsthand about all of those coming up, and some will be pertinent to some businesses, others will be pertinent to others.
And as you say, there's quite a short window for this, isn't there? So people have got to be quick.
Yes, extremely short. Don't I know it?
Yeah, absolutely. Listen, it's a busy time for you, Matt. I'll let you go. Thank you so much for telling us all about the project and explaining to us here on Sbltv.
Great, thanks.
Thank you.
Shropshire Live. News and entertainment for Shropshire. Shropshire Live.
Welcome back to Shropshire Business Live TV. Time now for our second visit to some of the highlights of Season 4 as we take a look back at some of our favourite moments. So you know every single thing, every single case and what's supposed to go in every single one of these?
Yes, we do. Every single one. It's all barcoded, it's all labelled, we know exactly what's in. You could tell me to go and grab a single cable, I'll run straight to it and it'll be in before you know it.
Compared to what they would normally be. He's picking up my shoe. Or she's picking up my shoe.
You've obviously got better polish on your shoes than I have on mine by the look of it.
To what they're normally. Never filmed with children and live animals.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So we had Sir Clive Woodward, the England rugby captain, and we also had MBE Deborah Searle, who told us all about her amazing journey rowing across the Atlantic. But this year we're going for a bit more of an interactive feel, embedding in the theme of this year's conference, which is the future of leadership.
Slightly unnerved at the moment because I've just seen an 8-foot penguin walk by at the other side of the camera there, folks. But we'll carry on. This is what the skills show at Telford International Centre is all about.
I mean, you meet so many interesting people, doing this, and it's a sport that anyone can do. There's no restrictions on who can do this. We have taught people that, have been handicapped, and anyone can do this. Anybody.
So rising up from the foundations, we've got 370 tonnes worth of hot rolled steel, goes to approximately 11.5 metres. And then we encapsulate that with 15,000 square metres of composite cladding panel on the walls and the roof.
I think the first year I came and it was like, oh my giddy aunt, you look at it and you go, it's never going to be ready in time. But they do turn it around and then you walk in afterwards because you go back and get ready for the evening, put the dress on and everything. You come back in and go, wow, they have.
So there you go, highlights from the 4th season of Sbltv. Chris, to be honest, I can't believe we've been doing this for 4 years.
4 years has gone so fast, Carl, but we've had a brilliant time.
When you consider we only set this up during COVID to keep businesses connected for a year, and 4 years down the line we've been so many places, met some great people and come to locations like this, which is
Absolutely,
great.
This is a great day today here at Newport Show. It's been brilliant. As you say, we've met so many people, we've had so many people into the studio, ask the experts, and some great businesses that we just don't know exist in Shropshire until we've chatted to them, and they're doing massive things.
Absolutely, and I think the one thing we need to do is say a big thank you to everybody who's been part of this season, part of the first 3 seasons as well, and of course our sponsors, Nick at Ask the Experts, the teams from ACO and Shropshire Council who've supported us, the Telford College crew. It's been a great ride for another season. The next time you will see us is at the Shropshire, Telford and Wrekin Apprenticeship Awards, which are happening, I know we've mentioned this loads of times, on the 3rd of October. Tickets are now on sale. They're selling quite fast as well, which is nice.
Fast, yeah.
The shortlist will be revealed in the next few days of our finalists,
and stwaa.co.uk is the place to find all the details.
It is. This is going to be a real celebration of apprenticeships in Shropshire, because we've talked about it so many times on the show. We've had so many people in talking about apprenticeships. They are a big deal, aren't they? They are, you know, such a great thing. We need to celebrate what's going on in Shropshire and the amazing young people and the companies that are helping them and putting their future career together.
And I know that people always say this at awards events, but we've been staggered by not just the quality but the quantity of entries that have come through as well, and the judges, as we speak, are busily trying to shortlist them down to finalists, which I know is going to be a difficult task, but it does mean we're going to have a great evening. And I can neither confirm nor deny that Elvis will be in the building for our awards night on the 3rd of October, but you trust me, don't you?
We do. We absolutely do. Carl, listen, thank you. It's been a great series. Really enjoyed it. Thank you very much.
Thanks for joining us. We'll see you soon.